Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that means a lot. I'm no Justin Bieber. I'm a
I'm not saying it. I didn't mean it.
paved the way for that kid.
I know you did. I know you did.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff in my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Do you think the person that the you of then was on a path of self-destruction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would have, for sure, 100%. Yeah. It would have been no bueno. It was bad. I don't know if I'd be alive, for sure. It was dark, but I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
In an old video that's making waves across the internet, Justin hints at some disturbing connections between the late Aaron Carter and Diddy's dark party scene. If you followed Aaron's tragic journey, from his early fame to his mysterious end, this revelation takes it to a whole new level.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, you look like you have AIDS, you should go die. I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old, because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, we're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this. I had to go show off all the stuff, my whole life, that was going to be taken away from me.
So, Aaron Carter was the face of teen pop stardom. Rising to fame in the early 2000s, he seemed to have it all. Touring with his brother Nick's band, the Backstreet Boys, and other major acts like Britney Spears, Aaron became a household name. He was even close friends with Michael Jackson, but as his fame skyrocketed, his life began to go out of control. Over the years, Aaron faced several personal struggles, including addiction, family feuds, and financial problems. Tattoos began covering his once clean-cut image, and his behavior became erratic. Despite attempts to revive his career and get his life back on track, things took a tragic turn in November 2022 when Aaron was found in his California home. His housekeeper discovered his body in a bathtub, leading to early speculation that he had drowned. However, it wasn't long before Aaron's mother, Jane Carter, questioned the official reports of her son's demise. In a bold move, Jane released photos of the last scene, which showed a disturbing image of the bathroom where Aaron had been found. The pictures raised several questions, from the suspicious greenish tint of the water in the bathtub to the neatly placed towels, which didn't make sense if CPR had been performed. Jane felt that the police had rushed their investigation while labeling it an overdose and closing the case. She was convinced that something bad might have been involved, hinting that someone may have been responsible for Aaron's tragic end. The medical examiner later cited Aaron's official cause of demise as drowning due to the effects of inhaling difluoroethane and Xanax, claiming he had become incapacitated and slipped. But Jane wasn't convinced. She said that her son had been receiving threats, and with his rocky past and struggles with addiction, there was more to his story than a simple overdose. The controversy surrounding Aaron's demise grew, with many fans and supporters agreeing with Jane that something much darker had happened to the pop star. As more information surrounding Aaron's demise began to surface, talks about Diddy's famous parties also gained attention. For years, there have been rumors about what really went on behind closed doors at these parties. A-list celebrities, lavish settings, and an endless supply of illegal substances and alcohol painted a picture of a dark playground. But under that glossy surface were stories of exploitation involving younger stars who were desperate for fame.
The FBI's recent findings on Aaron Carter's death have raised some unsettling questions, particularly around his potential connection to music mogul Diddy. While Carter's career briefly intersected with Bad Boy Records, rumors persist that he was preparing to disclose incriminating information about Diddy's controversial lifestyle, specifically around allegations of inappropriate relationships and his infamous freak-off parties. His sudden passing, however, has left many questions unanswered. Could these events be tied to Diddy, who has faced accusations of hosting infamous freak-off parties? Was Aaron silenced before he could expose too much? In this video, we will uncover these emerging theories and dive deeper into whether Carter's death could be linked to this potential expose. The revelation. As new revelations about Sean Diddy Combs' controversial lifestyle continue to surface, the internet is buzzing with an influx of conspiracy theories that paint an unsettling picture. Among the most viral narratives making the rounds on social media is one involving the late singer and rapper, Aaron Carter. This theory has gained traction following Diddy's recent legal troubles, sparking speculation that Carter may have been a victim of a much darker chapter in the music mogul's life. One of the most widely shared posts on X, formerly Twitter, hints at an alleged connection between Diddy and Aaron Carter Carter's untimely death. The Post, which has ignited significant debate, claims that Carter was on the verge of revealing damaging details about Diddy's private life before his tragic passing in late 2022. Rumors are circulating that Aaron Carter was killed right before he was about to expose what happened at P. Diddy's trafficking parties, where he was a childhood victim of drug abuse. And Aaron Carter released albums under Sony Music Group Entertainment, which is a parent company of P. Diddy's Bad Boy Records. While this assertion remains unverified, the implications are shocking. The Post insinuates that Carter, who had faced personal battles throughout his career, was planning to come forward with accusations against Diddy, potentially revealing abusive and illegal activity at the music executive's notorious parties. According to the theory, Diddy may have acted to silence Carter before he could share his alleged experiences. Behind the scenes, Aaron's life was not as perfect as it seemed. The pressures of fame and the demands of the entertainment industry began to take a toll on the young star. As he navigated the challenges of growing up in the public eye, Aaron started to show signs of struggle. In interviews, Aaron spoke candidly about the difficulties he faced. He revealed that he had started using drugs at a young age, a coping mechanism to deal with the immense pressure and scrutiny he was under. The initial signs of his struggles with addiction began to surface, casting a shadow over his once bright career. Despite his battles, Aaron continued to pursue his passion for music and entertainment. In 2009, he appeared as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, showcasing his talent and determination. However, the cracks in his facade were becoming more apparent, and his career began to stall. As the years went by, Aaron's struggles with addiction and legal troubles became more pronounced. He had a known history of substance abuse, including the use of inhalants, which had led to multiple interactions with the police. Investigators found several prescription bottles and cans of an electronic duster in his home, further highlighting his battle with addiction. He faced multiple arrests and public incidents that highlighted his ongoing battle with substance abuse. Despite releasing his first album in 15 years, Love, in 2018, the reviews were lukewarm, and his career never quite regained its former glory. Aaron Carter's early life and rise to fame were marked by incredible achievements and unforgettable moments, but the pressures of stardom and the challenges of growing up in the spotlight took a heavy toll on him. Aaron Carter's sudden death at the age of 34 only added fuel to these speculations. Aaron Carter's life in the months leading up to his death was a whirlwind of chaos, paranoia, and troubling behavior. The former teen idol, who had been open about his struggles with addiction, seemed to be spiraling out of control. On November 5th, 2022, Aaron was found dead in his home, and the events leading up to that tragic day have left many questions unanswered. In the weeks before his death, Aaron's behavior had become increasingly erratic. Friends and family members reported that he was constantly paranoid, convinced that people were out to get him. Brian Cassidy, a close friend of Aaron's, revealed that the singer was always worried about someone being after him. This paranoia was not unfounded, as Aaron had received numerous death threats over the years, adding to his growing fear and anxiety. On the day of his death, Aaron was reportedly in his home with two unidentified individuals. According to his former publicist, Kelly Kay, these two people were seen leaving Aaron's house just before his body was discovered. Despite the presence of these individuals, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department has not properly identified or investigated them, leaving a significant gap in the timeline of events. One of the people in Aaron's home was his housekeeper, a homeless woman whom Aaron had taken in just weeks before his death. She was the one who placed the frantic call to 911 to report his death. In the early hours of November 4th, Aaron was seen on Instagram Live, engaging in a disturbing activity. He was huffing and inhaling, a behavior that alarmed his fans and prompted a welfare check by sheriff's deputies. At around 2 a.m., the deputies arrived at Aaron's home to ensure his safety. When the deputies arrived, Aaron answered the door and assured them that he was fine. Despite their concerns, Aaron insisted that they leave, and the authorities complied. This would be the last time Aaron was seen alive. The following day, on November 5th, Aaron's housekeeper became concerned when she heard his dogs barking incessantly and received no response from him. Fearing the worst, she let herself into the house and made a heartbreaking discovery. In the bathroom, she found Aaron submerged in the jacuzzi-style bathtub with the jets still running. He was wearing a t-shirt and a necklace, a haunting image that would be etched in her memory forever. Panicked, she called 911 and was instructed to pull Aaron out of the tub and perform CPR. Despite her efforts, it was too late. When paramedics arrived, they immediately declared Aaron Carter dead at the scene. However, the identity of the second person remains a mystery, adding to the suspicion and intrigue surrounding the case. Aaron's ex-fiancée, Melanie Martin, and his mother, Jane Carter, have both expressed their doubts about the official cause of death. Melanie questioned why Aaron would be in the bathtub wearing a t-shirt and necklace, a detail that seems out of place and raises further questions about the chain of events leading to his death. Jane Carter has called for a more thorough investigation, citing her son's history of receiving death threats and the many people who made his life difficult. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner Coroner's Office later investigated Aaron's death. The coroner's report, published on April 18, 2023, revealed that Aaron's death was caused by drowning and the effects of difluoroethane and alprazolam. Difluoroethane is a gas commonly found in spray cleaners, known to produce feelings of euphoria when inhaled. Alprazolam, a generic version of the anxiety medication Xanax, was also found in Aaron's system. The combination of these substances, along with the circumstances of his drowning, painted a grim picture of his final moments. Following Aaron's death, his older brother Nick Carter, a member of the Backstreet Boys, released a heartfelt statement. Despite their complicated relationship, Nick expressed that his love for Aaron had never faltered. He remarked that addiction and mental illness were the true villains in the situation, and he shared how deeply he would miss his brother, more than anyone could ever understand. However, the question remains, what role, if any, did Diddy play in the events surrounding Aaron Carter? Diddy's relationship with underage boys. Diddy's alleged rituals involving underage boys have been swirling around since the 90s. This news explains why Diddy has been hiding in the closet since the industry was not too open back then. However, the problem isn't Diddy's sexuality, but rather the gay ritual that involved underage boys. For years, the streets have been talking about Diddy luring young boys to his parties and forcing them to perform sexual acts not just for himself, but also for his circle of close elite friends. According to industry sources, these rituals serve as a form of initiation where actors prove their allegiance to Diddy and his squad in return for fame and money. This allegedly may have contributed to Carter's rise to fame after releasing most of his songs under a record label affiliated with Diddy. This can also be said of Justin Bieber, who, at 16 years of age, spent 48 hours with the music mogul in an undisclosed location. In the 2-minute clip, Diddy is seen presenting a luxury car to the teenager, telling him that once he turns 16, he will be able to use it whenever he wants, and by the time he's 18, he'll receive a mansion. Turning to the camera, the rapper informs fans that Bieber is about to spend 48 hours with Diddy, though he adds that the details of their activities can't be disclosed. Describing it as every 15-year-old's dream, Diddy jokes that he has been given custody of Bieber, referencing how he had guardianship of Usher during the making of his first album. While clarifying that he doesn't actually have legal custody of Bieber, he says that for the next 48 hours, they will be together and plan to go buck-fool crazy. Diddy then asked Bieber what he wanted to do over the next 48 hours, to which the teen singer suggested that they should get some girls and hang out with them. In another resurfaced clip, Diddy is seen confronting Bieber, who was 16 years old at that time, questioning why the young star hadn't been hanging out with him or staying in touch as much. In the clip, Justin appeared visibly anxious while addressing Diddy's remarks. Justin noted that although Diddy had attempted to reach out to him through various channels, he had never made an effort to obtain his contact information directly. In a later interview, Justin revealed the trauma he had endured in the music industry, becoming visibly emotional as he recounted the challenges he had faced. He discussed the difficulties of being so young in the industry, feeling lost and unsure of where to seek support. He mentioned how everyone around him had professed their love for him, only to turn their backs on him when he needed them. Justin explained that he had felt trapped by shame from his past and had been unable to move forward. He also reflected on how the emotional toll had significantly impacted his mental health, acknowledging that not everyone would have been able to handle being in his position at such a young age. While the clip might have seemed harmless at the time, it has now sparked an outpouring of criticism and concern on social media. Many are questioning the nature of Diddy's influence over a young Bieber, especially in light of the disturbing charges now facing the music mogul. An alleged memoir by Diddy's later partner Kim Porter has also surfaced, bringing serious claims about Diddy to light. Kim Porter, who died in 2018, shared 4 children with Sean Diddy Combs. According to the Daily Mail's findings, Porter allegedly kept a diary that she saved on a flash drive and gave to friends before her death. Later, Chris Todd, using the pseudonym Jamal T. Millwood, published these diary entries as a book, which has now become an Amazon bestseller and contains disturbing allegations against Combs, including physical abuse and child sexual abuse. Porter describes discovering and copying tapes that Combs made of himself having sex with underage boys he was managing, including an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star who later became famous. She claimed to have discovered videotapes of Sean's sexual encounters in his bedroom and planned to make copies for herself to protect against any potential backlash when she left him. However, she expressed shock at seeing that while the gay parties were one thing, the involvement of young boys, including 2 hip-hop stars formerly managed by Diddy and a then 18-year-old pop star, was something she would have never known. Although these allegations remain firmly in the realm of conspiracy theories, they seem to converge on a singular narrative, casting Diddy in the role of the new Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy's freak-off parties. The term freak-off has become synonymous with Sean Combs since the indictment was unsealed. According to the federal indictment, these freak-off parties were elaborate and orchestrated sexual performances that Combs arranged, directed, and often recorded. The indictment paints a picture of a man who used his power and influence to manipulate and control his victims, often under the guise of romantic relationships. The charges against Sean Combs are severe and numerous. He is facing charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted, he could be looking at 15 years to life in prison. These charges are not just about the freak-off parties, but also about a larger criminal enterprise that Combs allegedly led. The indictment alleges that Combs and other members of his enterprise used their power and prestige to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit. Once the victims were within his control, Combs allegedly used force, threats of force, and coercion to make them engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers. These events, referred to as freak-offs, were elaborate and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. The freak-off parties were not just casual gatherings. They were meticulously planned and executed events. The indictment reveals that these parties occurred regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days. During these events, Combs allegedly distributed a variety of controlled substances to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. The drugs involved included ketamine, GHB, and ecstasy. These substances were used to impair the victim's ability to resist and to ensure their compliance with Combs' demands. One of the most shocking aspects of these allegations is that Combs often recorded these events without the victim's knowledge. The indictment states that Combs kept videos of the victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. These recordings were allegedly used as collateral to further control and manipulate the victims. The government has obtained dozens of these video recordings as part of their evidence against Combs. The indictment also reveals that after these freak-off parties, both Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. This detail highlights the extreme nature of these events and the toll they took on the participants. The evidence against Combs is substantial. Federal authorities collected digital evidence after raiding Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami. They obtained over 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as over 30 other electronic and storage devices such as hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, and a surveillance system. Victim testimony regarding the freak-off parties is corroborated by other witness testimony, communications with Combs and commercial sex workers, travel records, hotel records, videos of the freak-offs, and records reflecting or indicating payment. One particularly damning piece of evidence is from approximately 2012 in Manhattan, where Combs allegedly paid over $46,000 to cover damages to a penthouse hotel room following a freak-off. The government plans to produce receipts and documentation to corroborate this account. This evidence suggests that these events were not only elaborate, but also caused significant damage, further supporting the allegations of their extreme nature. The charges of racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking are supported by the detailed accounts of how these events were orchestrated and facilitated. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other business employees, allegedly played key roles in making these freak-off parties happen. They booked hotel rooms, stocked the rooms with required supplies, cleaned up after the events, arranged travel for victims, and commercial sex. Workers resupplied Combs with requested items, delivered large sums of cash to pay the commercial sex workers, and scheduled the delivery of IV fluids. During searches of Combs' residences in March 2024, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. This evidence further supports the allegations and paints a disturbing picture of the lengths to which Combs allegedly went to facilitate these events. The government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced Combs' abuse. These witnesses corroborate one another, and their accounts are consistent with other types of evidence. The government expects the number of witnesses to continue to grow as the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing. Once a titan in the music industry, Diddy has seen his empire shaken by a series of disturbing claims. One of the earliest and most high-profile cases involved Cassie Ventura, Combs' former longtime girlfriend. On November 16, 2023, Ventura filed a civil suit alleging over a decade of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. She claimed that Combs raped her, physically assaulted her, and forced her into sex acts with male sex workers while he he watched and filmed. Ventura also accused Combs of introducing her to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse. Although Combs denied these allegations, the suit was settled amicably just a day after it was filed. In May, surveillance footage from 2016 surfaced, allegedly showing Combs assaulting Ventura, which seemed to corroborate her claims. Combs issued a public apology, acknowledging his behavior in the video and expressing remorse. The fallout from these allegations was immediate and severe. Several brands and organizations severed ties with Combs, fearing the negative publicity associated with his name. New York City revoked his ceremonial key, and Miami Beach terminated its Diddy Day. These actions signaled a significant blow to Combs' public standing and business relationships as companies and cities sought to distance themselves from the controversy. As the initial lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs began to unfold, the legal challenges quickly escalated, drawing the attention of federal authorities and casting an even darker shadow over his career and personal life. The progression of these cases revealed a pattern of allegations that spanned decades, involving multiple accusers and a range of disturbing claims. In late November 2023, just before the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act, Joy Dickerson Neal filed a suit accusing Combs of drugging and her in January 1991. She alleged that Combs videotaped the assault and distributed it within the music industry. Combs' spokesperson dismissed the allegations as a last-minute attempt to exploit the law, but the case added to the growing list of accusations against him. On the same day, Liza Gardner filed a lawsuit claiming that Combs and a singer-songwriter took turns raping her and a friend in the early 1990s. Gardner alleged that after meeting Combs at an MCA Records event, she was coerced into and later assaulted and choked by Combs when he feared his actions would be exposed. Combs' representatives labeled these claims as fabricated and a money grab, but the allegations continued to pile up. In December 2023, a woman identified as Jane Doe filed a complaint alleging that she was trafficked and gang by Combs and associates in 2003 when she was 17. The suit described how Doe was lured to New York, plied with drugs and alcohol, and then assaulted. Combs took to Instagram to deny these allegations, asserting that they were attempts to tarnish his reputation for financial gain. The involvement of federal authorities marked a significant escalation in the legal challenges faced by Combs. In March 2024, federal agents with Homeland Security investigations raided Combs' properties in Los Angeles and Miami Beach, seizing electronic devices as part of their investigation into alleged human trafficking. The searches aimed to corroborate the accounts of his accusers and signaled that federal prosecutors in New York were close to filing charges. On a fateful Monday in New York City, Combs was arrested by federal agents and charged with sex trafficking by force, transportation to engage in prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky denied bail for Combs' pending trial. She expressed her concern that the crime occurs behind closed doors, referring to the allegations of sex trafficking and other charges. The judge voiced deep apprehension about the power imbalance between Combs and the alleged victims, indicating that these women might be particularly vulnerable to coercion. The government's stance on bail was unequivocal. They opposed it on the grounds that Combs poses an ongoing safety risk and a significant flight risk. Assistant ADA Emily Johnson did not mince words, describing Combs as a serial abuser and a serial obstructor. The indictment detailed numerous acts of violence allegedly committed by Combs, including assault, arson, and brandishing firearms. One particularly shocking incident involved Combs and an associate kidnapping an unnamed individual at gunpoint in December 2011. Roughly 2 weeks later, members of the alleged criminal enterprise set fire to that individual's car with a Molotov cocktail. The individual is believed to be Kid Cudi, who confirmed accusations in a lawsuit from Cassandra Ventura, better known as Cassie, that Combs set fire to the rapper's car. In a recent statement, Combs' defense attorney, Mark Agnifulo, addressed the single charge of sex trafficking, asserting that it involved one woman with whom Combs had been in a 10-year relationship, seemingly referring to Ventura. Agnifulo characterized their relationship as mutually toxic and claimed that the woman had consensually agreed to engage in sexual contact with male sex workers as part of an arrangement with Combs. He argued that it could not be classified as sex trafficking if all parties were willing participants, questioning whether it could truly be considered sex trafficking if everyone wanted to be there. He aimed to minimize the seriousness of the charges. Furthermore, the filing indicated that anyone in Combs' presence was at risk of abuse or assault. The government's opposition to bail also hinged on arguments that Combs was likely to obstruct proceedings. They pointed to him bribing hotel security to prevent them from disclosing video footage depicting his assault of Ventura. Agnifulo said Combs had since apologized for the incident but took actions because it was a deeply embarrassing event. More recently, Combs and his associates allegedly reached out to potential witnesses in the investigation, directing them to lie in an attempt to conceal his alleged crimes. It was reported that during one of the calls, which occurred just 3 days after he was sued by Ventura, the mogul asked for the victim's friendship and assured her that she wouldn't have to worry about anything else if she supported his version of events. The government also claimed that Combs posed a major flight risk due to his substantial resources. They said he had access to dozens of bank accounts, some personal and many under corporate entities containing millions of dollars, as well as over $1 million in personal cash on hand. Prosecutors argued that if Combs wanted to flee, he had the money, manpower, and tools to do so quickly and without detection. Agnifilo emphasized that Combs had demonstrated responsible behavior through his voluntary actions before his arrest. He noted that Combs had flown to New York on September 5th, willingly awaiting arrest, which indicated his readiness to confront the charges directly. During his time in New York, Combs had also been actively seeking therapy and treatment, highlighting his dedication to resolving any personal matters. Agnifilo asserted that the court could trust Combs because he had earned that trust through his actions, portraying him as an individual committed to accountability. The defense team proposed a $50 million bond, secured by equity in Combs' Miami residence and that of his mother. They suggested stringent bail conditions, including home detention with GPS monitoring and restrictions to parts of Florida, New York, and New Jersey. These measures, they argued, would ensure that Combs remained under close supervision while allowing him to deal with pending litigation and attend medical appointments. Agnifilo disclosed that Combs had secured the passports of several family members months prior and was in the process of selling his private plane. He argued that these actions were intended to alleviate concerns about any potential flight risk. The defense attorney emphasized that Combs had no intention of fleeing and had made every effort to cooperate with law enforcement, insisting that Combs was not a flight risk and had taken steps to show his commitment to the legal process. As the defense laid out its case, Combs sat quietly in the courtroom, wearing a black t-shirt and sweatpants. A row of family members, including some of his children, sat behind him in the packed gallery offering their support. Combs did not speak out loud except to plead not guilty, but he often nodded in agreement with his attorney. Despite the defense's arguments, the government remained steadfast in its opposition to bail. The investigation into Diddy, who is currently in custody, has prompted authorities to start looking into some of his famous associates who may have been involved in his crimes. One name in particular has begun to make headlines: Usher. The relationship between Diddy and Usher is now being heavily scrutinized, and allegations are being hurled at the singer from all directions. Amidst all of this, there's only one question on everyone's mind: where is Usher? In this video, I will be revealing the connection between Diddy, the FBI, and Usher. Where is Usher? The relationship between Usher and music mogul. Diddy is one that has lasted for years, with Usher meeting Diddy as a teenager. Their story began in the early 1990s when a young Usher Raymond IV was discovered by Antonio L.A. Reid, co-founder of LaFace Records. At just 13 years old, Usher's talent was undeniable. He had the voice, the moves, and the charisma to become a star. After signing with LaFace Records, Usher began working on his debut album. However, during the intense preparation, Usher lost his voice, a devastating blow for any singer. Due to the setback, Reid decided to send Usher to New York in the spring of 1994 to live with Diddy. Reid dubbed it Flavor Camp, hoping that Diddy's influence would give Usher the edge he needed to survive in the competitive music industry. Usher, just 14 years old at the time, was thrust into a world of luxury, excess, and relentless ambition. Diddy was known for his extravagant lifestyle and his ability to turn artists into superstars. For Usher, this was both an opportunity and a trial by fire. Usher quickly adapted to Diddy's lavish lifestyle. He attended parties, mingled with some of the biggest names in hip-hop, and was exposed to a world of fame and luxury. In an old interview, Usher admitted that his time in New York were the hardest days of his life. He said he had to knuckle up, figure out in New York. Despite the challenges, the experience had a huge impact on Usher's career. Diddy took Usher under his wing, introducing him to industry heavyweights like Notorious Big, Lil Kim, and Mary J. Blige. These connections were invaluable, giving Usher a first-hand look at what it took to be a star. Diddy produced Usher's debut self-titled album, released in August 1994. While the album was not a commercial hit, it marked the beginning of Usher's journey in the music industry. In a candid interview with Howard Stern, Usher reflected on his time living with Diddy. He described the experience as pretty wild and crazy, filled with moments that were both eye-opening and shocking. The singer admitted that he saw things he didn't fully understand at the time, saying, "I got a chance to see some things. I don't know if I could indulge and even understand what I was looking at. It was pretty wild. It was crazy. There were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it." In a 2004 Rolling Stone interview, Usher shed more light on the impact of those experiences. He revealed how Diddy Diddy had exposed him to a totally different set of sex, specifically. Usher described the widespread presence of sex in the industry and the constant presence of women at Diddy's gathering. He said, "Sex is so hot in the industry, man. There was always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen." Usher has often spoken about how those experiences shaped him, both as an artist and as a person. He has also never failed to make it clear that although they started out as mentor and protege, the relationship between him and Diddy progressed into brotherhood and has continued to flourish for decades. Another celebrity who came under Diddy's wing as a teenager is Justin Bieber, and it was mostly thanks to Usher. Justin was discovered on YouTube by talent manager Scooter Braun. At just 13 years old, Justin's raw talent and boyish charm captured the hearts of millions, quickly making him a global sensation. Scooter Braun played a crucial role in Justin's early career, but he wasn't the only influential figure to take notice of the youngster's talent. Usher would later become a mentor to Justin, and it was through him that Justin first crossed paths with Diddy. In November 2009, a video titled Justin Bieber's 48 Hours with Diddy was posted on Justin's YouTube channel. At the time, the video seemed like harmless fun, showcasing the budding friendship between the young pop star and the seasoned music mogul. Diddy saw potential in Justin Bieber and took him under his wing, much like he had done with Usher years before. He offered guidance, industry connections, and a glimpse into the glamorous world of fame. In December 2010, a video appeared on Diddy's YouTube page. In it, Diddy presents Justin with a Letterman jacket, asking why they haven't been hanging out anymore. The 16-year-old Justin appears nervous, stuttering as he jokes that Diddy doesn't have his number anymore. This video, like the earlier one, was perceived as a playful interaction between mentor and protege, but in light of recent happenings, this might not have been the case. As Justin's career continued to soar, Diddy's influence remained a constant presence. Bieber's performances, public appearances, and even his interactions with fans were often shaped by the lessons he learned from Diddy. The music mogul's impact on Bieber's career was undeniable, helping to mold him into the global superstar he would become. As the years went by, the relationship between Justin Bieber and Diddy seemed to fade into the background, but Diddy's recent arrest has brought their past interactions back into the spotlight in a way that no one could have anticipated. Diddy's arrest has renewed attention on a series of disturbing allegations against him, including abuse, sexual harassment, and non-consensual pornography. As more details emerge, the public's perception of the music mogul has shifted dramatically, and the videos of him with a young Justin Bieber have now been brought under the microscope. One of the most talked about videos is the one titled Justin Bieber's 48 Hours with Diddy. The video shows Justin joking about driving one of Diddy's cars, and it shows Diddy promising an eventful 48 hours. When Diddy asks Justin what he wants to do, the teen responds, "Let's go get some girls," prompting Diddy to call him a man after my heart. At the time, the video was seen as a playful interaction between a young star and his mentor. But in the wake of the sex trafficking charges against Diddy, fans now believe that there was more to the interaction than just harmless fun. The idea of a 40-year-old man spending 2 days with a 15-year-old boy promising to go crazy raises serious questions about the true nature of their relationship. Other clips from later years have emerged showing Justin at various parties and clubs with Diddy and his friends. Some of these clips seem to involve underage drinking, though it's hard to tell how old Justin is in each video. In one particularly controversial clip from a 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian recovers from a weekend of partying until 5:30 a.m. with a group that included Bieber and Diddy. She mentions that half the people were butt naked, confirming the suspicions that Diddy may have introduced Justin to the wrong crowd. As these videos continue to make the rounds on social media, people can't help but ask if Usher knew about Diddy's secrets before introducing him to Justin. According to shocking revelations by American singer Jaguar Wright, Diddy's interest in Justin went beyond mere professional curiosity. In a recently surfaced TikTok video, Jaguar Wright claimed that Diddy had been trying to gain control over Justin for some time. Wright alleged that Diddy faced resistance from Justin's management, who were wary of his intentions. It wasn't until Usher stepped in that Diddy got his chance. Usher's involvement with Justin began as a genuine mentorship, but according to Wright, it soon took a darker turn. Wright claimed that Usher took over Justin's management and obtained guardianship, only to hand over temporary guardianship to Diddy for 48 hours. This shocking claim suggests a calculated move by Usher to facilitate Diddy's access to Justin. Justin, unaware of these plans made behind the scenes, continued to rise in fame. His debut album, My World, released in 2009, was a massive success, and he quickly became a household name. Usher's mentorship played an important role in Justin's development as an artist. He provided guidance, support, and opportunities that helped Justin navigate the challenges of the music industry. However, Wright's allegations suggest that Usher's actions were not entirely pure. By taking control of Justin's management and guardianship, Usher created an opportunity for Diddy to step in. The revelations have sparked outrage on social media. Netizens have expressed disbelief and anger, with many condemning Usher and Diddy for their actions. The public's sympathy lies with Justin, who they believe has had to relive his trauma all over the internet. As the news of Diddy's arrest spread like wildfire, the public and media began to scrutinize the actions of those who were once part of his inner circle. Usher, being one of them, found himself under the spotlight. The timing of what happened next only added fuel to the fire. Just days after Diddy's arrest, Usher's fans noticed something strange. His entire X account had been wiped clean. All his tweets, spanning years and numbering over 7,000, were gone. Why would Usher, a prolific user of social media, suddenly delete his entire X history? Some fans speculated that Usher was trying to distance himself from the scandal surrounding Diddy. Others thought it was a precautionary move to avoid any potential backlash or incriminating evidence that might be found in his old tweets. The timing was too coincidental to ignore, and so it was not surprising that theories started to circulate almost immediately. Amidst the growing speculation, Usher took to his social media to address the situation. He wrote, "Account got hacked and damn y'all ran with it." He added, "See you tonight at Intuit Dome." Despite his explanation, many were not convinced. One social media user commented, "He is making excuse, y'all. We know that was intentional." Another added, "Usher has wiped his entire Twitter history, erasing over 7,000 of his old tweets." The skepticism didn't end there. Even though Usher hasn't been charged with anything, his name has come up time and time again in discussions about Diddy's alleged crimes. In one instance, Usher and fellow artist Ne-Yo were mentioned as individuals who witnessed Diddy physically assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. This connection has only fueled the speculation surrounding Usher's social media wipe. It's important to note that Usher is not the only celebrity who has taken such drastic digital measures. Around the same time, Pink and Megan Fox also cleaned up their digital spaces. This collective action by high-profile celebrities has led many to wonder if there's more to the story than meets the eye. The public's reaction to Usher's explanation has been mixed. While some believe his account was hacked, others are convinced that the social media wipe was a calculated move to distance himself from the scandal. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between, and only time will tell what really happened. Apart from Usher, some other celebrities with ties to Diddy are now facing intense scrutiny as a result of their association with him. At the top of the list are those who have been spotted at his parties and events over the years. Other celebrities connected to Diddy. In November 2004, the entertainment world was buzzing with anticipation for one of the most extravagant birthday parties of the decade, Diddy's 35th birthday. To mark this milestone, he planned a huge celebration at Cipriani's Ballroom in New York. The event was attended by 1,500 friends and family of Diddy. The guest list was packed with the entertainment industry's most influential figures, from top names in fashion and film to the world's most renowned musicians. Among the early arrivals were Vivica A. Fox, who dazzled in a flowing gown adorned with diamonds from a Toronto designer, and Tony Danza, who looked charming in a tuxedo. As the night progressed, more and more celebrities made their way into the ballroom. George Hamilton, Ben Chaplin, Carson Daly, Guy Oseary, Jay-Z, Nia Long, Usher, Bruce Willis, Ingrid Casares, Clive Davis, Rocco Disparito, Suzanne Barch, David Barton, art dealer Tony Shafrazi, and Paris Hilton were all spotted mingling with the crowd. Each of these stars brought their own unique flair to the event, making it a night to remember. All eyes turned to the entrance as Mariah Carey made her grand entrance. She arrived at the party in a white Vera Wang wedding dress, complete with flowing tulle and a diamond tiara. Mariah's choice of attire was a bold statement, and it sparked conversations throughout the night. Aside from this grand birthday party, Diddy is famous for hosting lavish parties. These gatherings are known for their luxury, star-studded guest lists, and sometimes scandalous events. From music moguls to sports icons, there's an extensive list of celebrities who have been spotted at Diddy's parties. First up, Beyonce and Jay-Z, the power couple of the music industry. One memorable instance was Diddy's 50th birthday bash in 2019, where Beyonce and Jay-Z were seen mingling with other A-listers. Next up is Drake, who has been a regular at Diddy's parties, despite their rocky past. In 2014, reports surfaced of a physical altercation between the two at a Miami nightclub. However, they have since patched things up, and Drake has been seen at several of Diddy's events, including his annual New Year's Eve parties. Basketball superstar LeBron James is another name that frequently pops up on Diddy's guest lists. Known for his love of music and the entertainment industry, LeBron has been seen partying with Diddy and other celebrities on numerous occasions. Meek Mill has also been a regular at Diddy's parties. Their friendship goes way back, and Meek Mill has often spoken about the support he received from Diddy during his tough times. Rick Ross, another close friend of Diddy's, has been a staple at his parties. Usher, who has a long history with Diddy, has of course been a regular at his parties. Cuba Gooding Jr., the Oscar-winning actor, is another name that frequently appears on the guest list. Russell Simmons, the music mogul and co co-founder of Def Jam Recordings, has also been a regular at Diddy's parties. Known for his influence in the music industry and his love of partying, Russell has often been seen at Diddy's events. These are just a few of the many celebrities who have attended Diddy's legendary parties over the years. In recent times, some of the above-named celebrities have been linked to Diddy's criminal activities by a lawsuit filed by music producer Lil Rod. Rodney Lil Rod Jones worked for Diddy between September 2022 and November 2023. Jones filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy and his associates of sexual assault and other serious misconduct. This lawsuit, filed just 1 month before federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles, California, and Miami, Florida, has brought to light some startling allegations. The lawsuit reemerged in headlines after these dramatic raids, which were part of an ongoing investigation involving Homeland Security investigations in Los Angeles and Miami. A statement from Homeland Security confirmed that these actions were executed with the assistance of local law enforcement partners. The lawsuit paints a disturbing picture of Diddy's parties, describing them as filled with sex workers, minors, and illegal drugs such as ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. These allegations have not only tarnished Diddy's reputation, but have also implicated several high-profile celebrities. The first high-profile name mentioned in Jones's lawsuit is none other than British royalty, Prince Harry. While the lawsuit does not accuse Prince Harry of any direct wrongdoing, it claims that those affiliated with or sponsoring Diddy's alleged sex trafficking parties became connected with celebrities, including international dignitaries like Prince Harry. Actress model Daphne Joy and rapper Young Miami were also named in the documents. According to the lawsuit, both women were allegedly paid a monthly fee by Diddy. Daphne Joy, who dated rapper 50 Cent and has a child with him, vehemently denied these claims, calling them 100% false and accusing Jones of character assassination. Young Miami also denied the allegations, stating on social media that the claims were fabricated by the internet. The lawsuit also names two powerful music label CEOs, Lucian Grange of Universal Music Group and Ethiopia Habtemariam, former CEO of Motown Records. Jones claims that Diddy used his connections with these executives to threaten him with isolation from the music industry. The lawsuit describes parties filled with sex workers, minors, and illegal drugs, where these executives were allegedly present. In a shocking twist, Jones has filed an amendment to his case, accusing actor Cuba Gooding Jr. of sexual assault. Gooding is alleged to have sexually harassed and assaulted Jones after being groomed and passed off by Diddy. Another name that came up is that of Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff. Jones accuses Coram of requiring all of Diddy's employees to carry drugs around his home and ordering sex workers for her boss. Jones even likened Coram to Ghislaine Maxwell, calling her the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. This comparison is both shocking and damning. Lil Rod's lawsuit and a handful of others that have been filed against Diddy in recent times mark the beginning of what many are now referring to as his downfall. Diddy's legal woes. Although Lil Rod's lawsuit points fingers at some big names, it also makes heavy allegations against Diddy himself. According to Lil Rod, what started as a promising collaboration between himself and Diddy quickly became a nightmare. He alleges that Diddy began to blur the lines between professional and personal boundaries, subjecting him to a series of disturbing and illegal activities. As the professional relationship between Lil Rod and Diddy deteriorated, Lil Rod found himself trapped in a situation where he felt powerless to say no. In his statement, he describes feeling terrified of Diddy, believing that the music mogul's influence in the industry and his connections with law enforcement made it impossible to refuse any of Diddy's demands. According to the lawsuit, Diddy engaged in constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of Lil Rod's private part. This behavior allegedly occurred frequently and without Lil Rod's consent, creating an environment of fear and intimidation. One of the most shocking allegations in the lawsuit is that Diddy drugged Lil Rod in February 2023. The music producer claims that he woke up unclothed, disoriented, and in bed with Diddy and two sex workers. This incident left Lil Rod feeling violated and powerless. The lawsuit also accuses Diddy of operating a racketeering enterprise. Lil Rod alleges that Diddy required him to record him constantly, resulting in hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Diddy, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activities. These activities allegedly included lacing alcohol for guests at Diddy's home, including underage girls, and forcing Lil Rod to engage in sexual acts with sex workers. But the allegations don't stop with Diddy. The lawsuit also names several other individuals as defendants, implicating them in the alleged misconduct. Among them is Diddy's 30-year-old son, Justin Dior Combs. According to Lil Rod, Justin was aware of and complicit in his father's actions. The lawsuit further claims that Diddy tried to intimidate Lil Rod by showing off his guns. This display of power and control was meant to reinforce the idea that Diddy was untouchable and that Lil Rod had no choice but to comply with his demands. In a particularly chilling allegation, Lil Rod claims that Diddy admitted to being responsible for the 1999 shooting involving rapper shine. This admission, if true, could have serious legal implications for Diddy and further tarnish his already controversial reputation. As if these allegations weren't enough, Lil Rod also claims that he was underpaid for his work on Diddy's latest album, The Love Album. Despite producing at least 9 songs on the album, Lil Rod says he has been quietly fighting for his publishing rights for months. The allegations made by Lil Rod are not only sensational, but also deeply troubling. If proven true, they could have far-reaching consequences for Diddy and those around him. For decades, Diddy has been a towering figure in the music industry, known for his successful career as a rapper, producer, and entrepreneur. However, he might not be who he claims to be behind closed doors. The first signs of trouble emerged in November 2023 when Cassandra Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of assault and a decade of abuse. This lawsuit opened the floodgates, prompting more women to come forward with similar allegations. The federal authorities took notice, and an extensive investigation was launched. Fast forward to March 2024, when federal agents conducted simultaneous raids on Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles. The raids uncovered a trove of evidence, including drugs, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, and 3 AR-15 assault rifles with damaged serial numbers. This evidence painted a grim picture of the activities that allegedly took place behind closed doors.